Stuck in an endless cycle of shoulder pain? It feels better for a while, but then boom, it's back, right? That new pain might be from an injury that you had years ago that you've forgotten all about. But here's the good news. You can fix it, and I'm gonna show you how. Let me tell you about my story. I tore my labrum in my right shoulder, a slap tear, and I did a year of rehab and got back to full strength again. It was hard work, but I got there. I was stronger than ever until I tore the labrum in my other shoulder. I couldn't believe it. I felt so defeated. How could this happen? But then I remembered something that I'd buried deep in the back of my mind. 20 years ago, I'd had a really bad injury on that left shoulder, and I never got it diagnosed and never did any rehab. My body basically just got on with life, and it learned how to get through things with this injury, and eventually the nervous system masks the pain. It just switches off the pain response, but the injuries, the underlying issues are still there. And then as soon as I started challenging that shoulder with proper strength training that I was now doing in my 30s, boom, that injury came back to haunt me again. This is a story that so many people share. The nervous system shuts down the pain, but the weakness and instability, they're still there. So what do? It's vital that at this time you do not give up. Now's your opportunity to do what, in my case, I should have done 20 years ago, which is rehabilitate that shoulder properly, get it strong, and make sure that I can handle everything that I want to do for the rest of my life. When I did this second slap tear, I knew what I was doing now. So it took me a year to rehabilitate the first one, and it took me 6 months to rehabilitate the second one. So here's what worked so well for me and hundreds of others around the world, and what will work for you too. You train pushing and pulling in a 1-to-1 ratio, and you start with a reduced range of motion. So that means you don't do overhead pushing and pulling. You start on a horizontal plane and you progressively overload until you can get overhead. You also train the external rotation pattern in the shoulder. That's really important. Train the scapular stabilizers as well. These are all inner unit muscle systems that need to be fired up again to hold that shoulder in place and make sure you've got correct shoulder movement. Unilateral movements first, so using dumbbells, and then progressively move to barbells. If you start with barbells, you're going to be favoring the strong side, and you want to be addressing the weakness in the weak side by using dumbbells. Train the biceps and triceps too. They're also part of the shoulder joint. And start by using very, very light weights and progressively overloading so that you get stronger each week and each month. If you feel a little bit of pain and discomfort during the workout, that's okay, that's pretty normal. But if your baseline level of pain increases the next day, then you've gone too hard, and you either need to look at reducing the amount of reps you do per set, reducing the amount of weight you do, reducing the range of motion further, or even changing the tempo. And if you don't want to try and figure out all of this out on yourself, because it's a lot of work, go over to unitygym.com/slap tear to learn how we can help you.